World of YouTube Deficit here, and today I would like to go over, due to being a suicide survivor, Garrison Brown. A lot of hype on this on social media due to the fact that my wife does watch the show and I catch glimpses of it. For some apparent reason, the episode when Mr. Cody Brown, which I hate to say that man's name out of my mouth, I like to spit it to the ground, step it on with my shoe, and wipe the shit off of it with his name on it. The only reason why I'm doing this is, for one, for some reason I caught that episode of him going after his two sons. Two, I've personally had a fallout with my father, and I'll tell you, it went on for about 5 years before I talked to that man again. But after that 5 year was up, I'll tell you, and this is got to do with respect. And if you want respect, Mr. Brown, you need to earn respect your own damn self. If he ever catches this video, I'd like to get that man in a celebrity boxing match. I've already thrown one out to Logan Paul. I'll even take on his brother Jake. You know what? I hear about these two punks, and now this guy talking about his six-pack and how, he just disgraced his wives all over TV. You know how sick this man is, and it's just disgusting. And one thing I hate more is a man that disgraces a woman, especially if they're beating on him. It's sick. And for this guy to come out with his words of supposedly his wisdom, which there's none there, because the guy ain't got the frickin' brains he was born with. Half the time, I would say, that's right. You sit down for your interviews, pal, you're suffocating the air and oxygen to your brain. Yeah, that's right. I said that. Because we know where your brain is. And you're definitely not sitting on your head when you're talking. Anyways. But to get back on track, of course, with this suicide, a very sad moment of time. And I can feel and relate with that kid 100%. 100%. And right, part of my wanting to get out of this world was, part of it, not all of it, is due to one of my father's episodes. And how I was feeling, just worthless. Felt like, and I was a teenager at the time, mind you. I've spoken about this before. About 13 years old. Maybe 14, maybe close to 14. And right, all his life as I knew it, man, it just didn't want to go on. And I could tell, man, all the good times that were throughout my life and times with my father, right? It was like, what is he doing and why is he doing this? And there's, and I noticed in the Brown family, all right, all these interviews that come, all these people talking about it, there's kids that have made it, that have succeeded, don't need to be on the show, I guess, let alone they have, right, probably their own business, they're married, relationships, blah, blah, blah. And then there's some kids that just don't look like they're going to make it. And this is where Mr. Stupid Brown, right? And I think he favoritism kids, and he definitely favoritisms Robin's kids, which, mind you, right, 3 of them ain't even his. And this even makes it more sick to say that 3 of them is his cousins, and he adopted them. I could never imagine of going with my cousin's ex, if they even had one, and you'd say, hey, man, I'm going to adopt your kids. What are you going to do about it? And I could just imagine the humiliation of the guy that is the real father to them kids. And as they get swept into this show, and it's a joke, a total joke. And when the pandemic hit, and I was watching the episodes, and Mr. Stupid Cody Brown talking about, and this is a lot of things what he said that caught my ear, and I wasn't even watching the show. I mean, I was doing other things or watching YouTube, but when I caught, I guess it was a sign to keep my ears wide open on these subjects, especially the one with Garrison and Gabriel is his name. The brothers, the 2 brothers, he went in for the kill. And pretty much that's what he did. In for the kill, now his kid's dead. And how sick is that? Gonna talk about, oh, no one's respecting my rules of staying in their zone. And he literally said they could catch COVID and kill us. Oh my God. And the 2 he pinpointed that to is right. Oh, but Mr. Cody effing Brown, dipstick, the biggest maroon on the planet right now, the biggest, oh man, sit on your brain and suffocate it, gonna go and do a wedding during the pandemic. But his wives, his children's gotta respect him, gotta obey him, obey his rules, and the sickness in this man, let alone in all polygamy. I can't stand that word. I'm glad I can't say it correctly, and I don't want to be told how to say it, because I think it's sick. All of you that do it are sick. And you know what? You all suffer mental health, and your children suffer more of it. And that Gabriel is, or Garrison, sorry, is the one who really suffered a lot. And then he got that text out there, I hate you for showing the good times, but, and I don't know, I don't understand who he's writing that to, probably the producers, they say, but he loves the good times. So that right there is the key word in this whole thing. He wants everything back the way it was, but everything isn't going to go back the way it was, because Cody has put everything of that show, of his wives, of his children, and the respect he's supposed to have into the ground and buried it with a nail in the coffin. Sick man he is. Sick man. You need some help, Mr. Brown. You need to get off your brain and get some help, especially after this ordeal. All your kids are going to need help now. Oh, my God. And if you ever want to know what my father did to me, why don't you private message me, you POS, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Because the rotten things that you don't think before you speak. Nice, famous Overkill song from Horoscope, one of my favorite albums from Overkill. And I love that song because a lot of people that I know that I've had issues with, and right, they said their last words to me, didn't think before you speak. So, with that being said, I could go on with a list of things of this show. Excuse me. of what Cody Brown said about everything, especially using COVID as a poor ass excuse of why everybody needs to stay where they are, but he can do what he wants. And favoritism kids. Obviously, he knows which kids are right out there doing it. And now I got my own family. And when he ever said that, I got my own family to take care of. Meaning Robin. This guy just don't know when to put his foot in his mouth to shut it, does he? I got my family to take. I got 2 little ones. Oh my God! And you got another little one with Christine. And where is she at in all this? You don't see a lot of time spent with them too, because why? This guy is a joke. And if anybody comes on me about leave him alone, no, I'm not going to leave him alone. I'm not going to leave him alone. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Because this man deserves to see and hear other people's opinions, especially the ones like me who has suffered just like his son with that not talking to your father bit. And my father finally came to his senses after 5 years of me stepped out of his life. And I was the man who found my father passed away. I was the man who did that. My older brother, he's the biggest drug head in the history of mankind. And I'll tell you, the only time he came to see my father was when he wanted money for drugs. And I don't even know where that man is right now. He's MIA. And if he's dead, I don't care. Because he wasn't there for my father. You know, it's a sad situation. It's a sad world. And my father even took sides before I stopped talking to him. So I got 2 other siblings and me, and I'm the one that had to walk out the door, not the other 2. Even though me and my second oldest brothers were the one, right, doing our jobs as our parents got older. But back then, there was no connection. And everybody was on a side. It was sick. Just like this. Cody Brown on a side. And he made that boy lose his mind by telling him, grow up and be a man. You know what? There's some kids and families that can't do that. Just because some do, others can't. And you can't put and force. And if they are not the type that's going to get out there and be able to do what they're going to do as a man, they can't help it. They need a little more time, a little bit more time. And yes, I have kids that do that too. They need a little bit more time. They need the more guidance because they can't help it. They were born into this world and they have disabilities, intellectual disabilities. They have all kinds of symptoms. And you know what? Your kid probably had intellectual disabilities and couldn't. And he was also, though, as I could see, a nice, soft soul, kind-hearted soul, genuine, and you made him, oh man, twisted in the brain. Because that ain't how a father's supposed to push his kid out. Unless that kid is giving you rotten chaos and giving you hardship in your life and doing the wrong things, then it's time to give him the boot.